Okay, now that we have added our terrain layer and we are going to turn it green like grass, I'm going to click Add Layer and then I'm going to click Ground. So here's my nice green landscape that our kids are going to be playing on. So when I press play to check our progress, it drops me right into the playing field and I'm able to start walking around and interacting with this environment. So now I have terrain, and now it's time for me to start adding other 3D elements to this terrain that I've got going on. So I go back up to the top and I want to keep this where I want it, but I also want to get out of play mode. So I guess I'll just take it down. There it is. Okay, so I got out of play mode and now it's time for me to add objects to the game. Now, at the beginning, we decided that we were going to add 7 objects. This green is going to represent the cell wall. And let's go back to our diagram that we originally chose and decide what we want these 3D elements to look like. So if I get in and I minimize this, I can go to just a regular Google search and we'll find our diagram again. So Flint cell diagram. And we chose this one. So we've got a cell wall, mitochondria, a large vacuole, cytoplasm, nucleus, chloroplast, and cell membrane. And because there's only one nucleus, it's a circle within a circle, I know that I'm going to be inserting a sphere because we're working 3D, we're not working on paper. So I'm going to insert a sphere. And to do that, I'm going to go back to my Unity Hub. There it is. Didn't mean to do that one. So to do this, where it says directional light, terrain, and first person controller, I'm going to right click and I'm going to insert a 3D object. And I want to insert a sphere because that's the shape of the nucleus. So I have inserted a sphere and here it is. And I want to put it where I want it, which is going to be on our terrain. So I'm going to select it and then I'm going to select the move and I'm going to find my terrain. Where is my terrain? There it is. There's my terrain. If I scroll out, there it is. And then there's my sphere. So I'm going to go back to my sphere and I know I'm going to have to move it up. And then I want to edit it. I want to make it larger. So I'm going to go back to my sphere. And once I have figured out how to place it into the terrain properly, so it's somewhere around here, but it's not on my world yet. So I'm going to have to change my perspective. Okay, so it's too low. Let me change my perspective again. Look at it like this. So it shows that it's sitting in the green, but I don't think it's big enough. So to really see. So if there was a way for me to edit it, having to change my perspective a lot, still too far below. Boop. Now we can see it. So if I were to go to my first person controller and I scroll out and I click on the sphere, Click on it again. Both of my, the sphere is in the world. I would just have to go find it. Let me change perspective. That's how you do that, by the way, over here. So it's floating above the green, which is exactly what I want it to do. And I just want to make sure I've got it right. So here's my little white sphere. Now I want to resize it. You can see the shadow too. So how would I go about resizing it? I know I have that sphere. Let me try adding another 3D object. Let's do a capsule. Okay, now we have a sphere and now we have a capsule. Very nice. And I'll assign the capsule to whatever looks like a capsule on our diagram. So that would be like uh, a chloroplast or the mitochondria. One's in green, one's in red. So if I swap back to my Unity Hub, I would be able to change that. So I have two objects now. Two 3D objects are somewhere in the playing field. I just need to resize and find them. And I want to make them very large because I want the kids to immediately see them as soon as they enter the world. So we'll work on resizing those next.